Hey everybody, it is Soaping Sunday episode 5 and today I have something to show you. We are doing an unboxing. I invested into our soap business and I got something that I'm really excited about. I can't wait to see it all set up and to show you guys. Here we go. Any guesses? Anyone know what this could be? Oh, they included a free spatula for soap. That's exciting. I got this from Custom Craft Tools, and what it is a soap mold. It's called a slab mold, and I'm really hopeful that I can make what I'm thinking in my head actually come to fruition with this type of mold. I have not used a slab mold before, so this is a whole new adventure for me. Wow. This is amazing. It comes with instructions, thankfully, because there are a lot of pieces here. So what I ordered is supposed to be a completely see-through mold so that you can actually see from all sides, top, bottom, insides, what is happening in your mold, how things are progressing, which I thought would be so cool since we're going to be doing so many designs and fun colors in the soap. So this is going to take a bit. So I'll get this done and get this set up so we can make some soap in it. First time using this mold, so to figure out how much soap I need to make, I had to measure this out by timesing the length by the width by the height times 0.42 to get my total amount of ounces of oils to put in my soap batter. So for this mold, it is actually 11 inches by 12 inches, and I'm gonna go with a 1-inch height for the soap because I found that I like that size for the soap bars that I make. So I took 11 by 12 by 1 by 0.42 and I got 55.4 ounces. I converted that to grams because I do calculate my recipes out in grams because it is a smaller unit of measurement. I'm able to calculate out more easily smaller amounts for, say, coloring the soap and things like that. So from ounces to grams, it's a total of 1,571.698 grams. And so that is the amount of oils I'm gonna be putting into soapcalc.com and then putting in my ingredients to print out a recipe that I'm going to use today, which is the base recipe that I have chosen for my soap. So this is gonna be the biggest batch of soap that I personally have made, and I'm really excited about it. If you wanna see how I make my base recipe of soap, I will include a link down below for a video I made on how I make soap. So I'm gonna make this up real quick, and we're gonna get to the fun part, which is using the embeds, making designs, coloring the soap, all that fun stuff. Okay, I got the soap made, so I am ready to start trying out some different designs. So this mold here has 15 individual spots to make soap, and the instructions say to pour all the soap in first and then put the dividers in. But my hope is to be able to individually design each soap inside of the divider. So it's an experiment. We're gonna see what happens. I have all the little embeds that we made a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna be placing them into the soap here. And I'm gonna be trying out different prints on these little silicone molds, and I'm gonna see how that looks on the soap. And also gonna be trying out some different colors. I picked out a few different bottles, a small set from the dollar store, and then a couple different sets from Michael's craft store, because I want to try to freehand some designs using colored soap in those bottles. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have because this soap is starting to thicken up, but we're going to do as much as we can and get it all in here, and we'll see what it ends up looking like. And I'm not sure if I should place this print on the bottom to have the soap fill in on here, or if it should be on the top. So I'm going to be trying it both ways to see what looks better, and then the same with the embeds on if I should have them at the very bottom where that's the top of the soap, or if I should have them on top. We'll see. We'll try it both ways and we'll go from there. So I'm going to put these in first. I'm going to try them in here. I cut them to size, so I'm hoping they all fit okay. Alright, so this first row, they're going to be on the bottom, and the next row I'll put the extras on top. I want to try a butterfly on the bottom. And again, I'm not sure if putting that on the bottom, if it's just going, when I add the soap, if that's going to float to the top and get all messy, but we're going to try it. I'm going to also put a feather on the bottom of another one. Let's try a little Christmas tree at the bottom of one here. I'm just going to put them in the center at the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit in, because if this thickens up, I want to at least have some of them done. I'm going to pour some of this on and then add an embed in the middle of it. But I want to at least cover this up. When they said not to put the dividers in first, I was thinking maybe the soap would leak out of the cavity, causing you not to be able to really do individual soaps, but that's not the case so far. But I can see how it's a little messier because I am dripping a little bit on the side divider here. I have one little drip. And then my hope is that this is only going to be 1 inch thick, because that's the way that I planned out the batter. So I poured it at about 1/2 inch. And then I was thinking that I could put an embed in the center, but I'm just not sure it's going to sink to the bottom. I'm going to let that thicken a little bit before I put the embed there and put the top on. I'm going to be patient for that part, and I'll put some on here. I've read a lot of books on soap. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on it. There really wasn't a lot about cold process embeds for soap, so I'm kind of just trying different things for myself in the hopes of seeing what's gonna work. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour some on this second embed. The first embed went well with it being on the bottom. I'm gonna cover this one. So that embed did slide over, so it's not gonna be in the center, but I'm hoping the other ones will stay in the center, and we'll see how it goes. But that's why we're doing the experiments, get it all figured out. So I'm gonna mix up some different colors that I'm gonna use in the hopes of being able to make some designs. I'm gonna start with black. I know I wanna use some black for outlining. I'm not sure how well that's gonna go, but let's start with 1/2 teaspoon of charcoal. So I just added a little bit of olive oil to the charcoal powder so that I can mix it up in the hopes of making a black colored soap for outlining designs. Alright, that looks pretty concentrated. So now let's add some soap to it. So I'm just gonna mix that together. I got a little lighter with the addition of the soap batter, but still a nice dark color. I'm gonna attempt to get that into here. Not sure how that's gonna go. I'm gonna use a paper towel under it, but I think I should probably invest in some funnels to make this a little easier. Thankfully this has a pretty wide top. Alright, so we have black for outlining, and I'm going to try to make a combination of blue, green, and white and see if I can come up with like a teal color. That's what I'm going for. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but we're going to try it. And I'm going to go with a 1/4 teaspoon of each. So a 1/4 teaspoon of kale and clay. 1/4 teaspoon of spirulina for the green. Alright, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of indigo for the blue. Actually, it's right here. More of like a grayish blue butterfly. So we'll see if the white kale and clay and then the green spirulina, if that will lighten it up a little bit. I would say it's now like a dark teal. Let's try this color as an option. I'm going to add some oil to it and mix that up, and we'll see what it looks like mixed with the soap. And it looks even darker with the oil. Ooh, that is definitely getting thick, so we're going to have to add our embeds to that one and finish those soaps over there up. So I'm going to put an embed in the middle of this first one. Thankfully I have a clear mold and I can look. So that one I had put one of these in, and so the print is going to be on that side. So I'm going to put a feather in the center. Just going to drop it in and hope for the best. I feel like I might need like tweezers or something. These gloves are very hard to work in. Okay, and then I'm going to cover up the feather. Oh good. It's thick enough that it's not sinking. Can I smooth this out and then put an embed on the top of this? So I want to see what an embed in the middle looks like and then an embed on the top, so I can get an idea for designs for the soap and what I want to do and how it's going to react. This particular soap recipe and with this particular slab mold. So that's in, and then my question is that the right height? Perfect, it's right at 1 inch. Okay, so then let's put a butterfly on the top, and let's try not to mess it up. Wish there was a way to grab this better.
Hey, Mom.
But I think I'm just gonna have to drop it. Ooh. And I'm just gonna press it in just a little bit so that it hopefully stays together. It looks really pretty. So that's it. That one is done. I'm leaving that one alone. Just gotta clean up the edge here. And we have one soap done. So the actual soap here took an hour and a half. And I'm like 30 minutes into this part. So let's finish these up since they're getting thick. We're running out of time here. We'll do a pine tree inside. Let's see how that goes. And then I'm going to use this first one as a guide for the 1 inch height. So that worked out well. That embed didn't sink either, even though it was a little bit thicker, a little heavier than the feather. And then let's see if this will hold a little embed on the top. Ooh. Put it in. Ooh, okay, I like it. I like how that looks. All right, and then the next one, I'm gonna fill that up to 1 inch here. Okay, let's put a feather on top. We haven't tried a feather on top yet. Oop. Yeah, so this is nice and thick, so it's just sitting right on the top. Oop. Hopefully it won't sink as it cures. So this one we'll try a little tiny Christmas tree on the top. Okay, another feather. So we can put another feather on the top here. And then we're gonna switch to making our own designs because I think we're gonna be out of embeds. We got a little feather. I'm gonna put that right on top here. All right, so this came out like a really dark teal, but I'm hoping that it'll lighten up a little bit with the addition of the soap batter. I'm gonna try just a little bit of turmeric, I think. We'll just see what happens. So that was like 1/8 of a teaspoon. I just want a little bit and see if I can lighten this up a little bit. Well, I lightened it a little bit, but I feel like we're more of like a forest green here. Definitely not the teal color I was looking for. But let's see what happens when we add the soap. And so adding in the yellow looking soap kind of made it like a deep grayish green color, which is not the color we're going for. And I forgot that I have these little cylinder embeds too. I'm going to stick one in over here and see how that ends up looking within the soap. I think that actually might be too tall. But let's see if I can kind of fill in around it then. I don't know if that will work, but it'd be pretty cool if it was like a tall embed that came up to the top. I think I need one of those little spatulas. Oh, that's right, they did give me one of those in the package that I got. Forgot about that. Give that a quick wash. That was really nice of them to send that with this mold. And it is actually nice because it's small enough to get the soap into the corners there. Alright, let's try a little cocoa. It's made a nice little chocolate color. I'm running out of time here, so I want to try this out. I'm going to see if I can make a little design. Alright, let's try putting these on top this time and see. I'm just going to press it to the top and hopefully get a print on the top. I'm just going to leave it to cure like that with each of these.
That's cool.
And hopefully I'll be able to remove that once it's done. Alright, so the spirulina made a dark green color here, but it, if I remember correctly, it did lighten up when it was cured. We'll see how this turns out. But I made a little tree here and I want to add on some leaves to it. I hope I put enough in here for this tree. Oh wow, this is like really thick now. I am definitely running out of time. So I'm going to try covering up this little goat. I'm worried it's going to get the design all smushed, but I'm going to try it. You never know. I put a little hole in the tree, like a squirrel hole. But if you think about it, you're not going to see the squirrel hole when you're using the soap. Looking at it from the top because I put it on the wrong side. Okay, I just finished up with filling this mold, and thankfully I got all the soap batter in without it completely seizing up on me. It got pretty thick, but I was able to do some designs and try out some different colors and experiments, and I can't wait to see how it unmolds and if any of these designs actually look like what I was trying to make them look like. And if you can actually see them inside of the soap when you wash with the bars. It's going to take a while for them to cure and for me to actually see that part of it, but it's a step in the right direction for where I want to go with these creations. So all in all, it took 4 hours to make this soap and do all these different experiments with it. We'll check in tomorrow and see how it's all looking. But I'm hopeful that these embeds on top will stay on top and not sink in. And hopefully these designs will actually hold their color and shape and not bleed. And then for the designs in the middle, hopefully you can actually see them when you wash your hands and get to that middle part of the soap. And then hopefully these, when you lift them up, will leave the imprint of the design on there, as well as on the opposite side, these that are at the bottom. Hopefully they'll leave the print there too. I tried to take a sneak peek underneath here. Looks like the tree kind of got a bit obscured by the weight of the soap, so that may not be the best option, putting it at the bottom. You may have to do them at the top to keep it from blurring, but you never know. We'll see when it's fully cured what that looks like. And looking like the little butterfly got a bit obscured too. But we'll save the rest for tomorrow. We'll see what it looks like. But for now, I have a lot of dishes to wash. Bye for now. It's the next day, and this is not ready to be unmolded, unfortunately. I checked the directions. It says for this mold that it actually recommends keeping it in the mold for 72 hours before moving out any of the soap. And when you do move the soap, that you need to slide it out, that you don't want to like break it out. So it's going to be a little bit of an adventure getting this out of here. So check back for part 2 on the following Soaping Sunday episode.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to farm a wicked awesome farm? Watch this channel to learn what to do. We love to farm and we'll show you. Yeah.